What up? What up? It's your boy Destructive Films, and today we got a special guest. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, let them know your name and what city you're from.
Right, yeah. I'm Wish, artistically known as Gsta Wish, from the city of Inglewood, California.
All right, so we're gonna learn something about Gangsta Wish today. Talk to us a little bit, Wish. You know how it was like as a kid. You know, as a youngster, as a kid, as a child. You know, growing up in Inglewood, California. How was that for you?
All right, well, like in the beginning years, it was cool, like school and stuff. I mean, elementary, um, growing up in Inglewood. I mean, it's very diverse. It's lot of diversity as far as races. Predominantly African American, and Hispanic, Latinos and stuff. So you get kind of, you grow up kind of like what you would call like the ghetto, like just that culture kind of ghetto, like. But it was cool, man. In elementary and all that, going to school. When you're a good kid, it's all good until the.
What was Gangsta Wish? A good kid?
I was a good kid, yeah.
Like
a good kid, yeah.
We're talking about elementary, right?
Yeah. Until got to later years where you start finding the bad shit in the neighborhood. But
right.
For the most part, growing up was cool, man.
Did you have your mom, pops, and
yeah. Mom and pops, yeah. I'm the second of four kids. So I have an older brother, then it's me, and it's my little sister and my little brother. But yeah, I had mom and pops until I was maybe like around, I want to say like 9, 10 years old was when my pops left. And then, left my mom and went and did his thing and shit. But, yeah, so I stayed with my mom's, but, that's when it got like, okay, like, cause my dad was like he was strict and shit, like he didn't let us do a lot of shit. So, and he'll whoop our ass. So when he left to us, well, to me, it was like, hell yeah. Like he left. Now I guess I could, in my mind, even as a kid, I was like, now I could do whatever I want,
Right. So he was pretty much like the rock, the rock of the family.
And when he bounced, it was just like, okay.
He kept everybody in line when he was there. And then once he slid out, you guys are like, we can get away with all
and
this
my mom
stuff.
did what she can, but I mean,
right.
It's 3 boys and a girl. So, I mean,
there's only so much that she could do or tell you.
I had to just sticking out in the streets and running the whole shit. So just to look for, I guess, a father figure in so to say,
Right.
Yeah.
So what about, so now that was elementary and now we're moving to like junior high. At this point in junior high, now your pops is gone. And in junior high, it's kind of like where, you start finding yourself with different crowds, usually, for everybody. So talk to us a little bit about your junior high experience.
Yeah, like junior high was, man, like looking back at it, it's pretty dope, like, the gang and the both the tagger shit was very relevant at that time, like if you were in that kind of mind frame that you like the tagging, you like the desmadre, like, then you gravitated towards that. Like you want to be part of a crew. Eventually it goes to a neighborhood, but,
what junior high did you go to?
I went to Monroe Middle School. Okay. Monroe Middle School. It's right there on Crenshaw Boulevard, between 108 and 104th, over there. They'll call it the Bottoms, that's what's known in Inglewood as the Bottoms.
Were you getting in trouble in those days?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm saying like that time it was just, school was, for me, and the people out, my friends at that time, even when we were tigers, it was like going to school, see who the fuck we're going to fight with. Like who's getting down, who's getting jumped, like what fades are going to be ran. Like lunchtime was everybody go to the back, who one-on-ones going on, like, yeah, all kind of shit. Even then, when being taggers and stuff, that's the type of shit that was going on, So that time, you could imagine gangbanging was already another level at that time. It's already like, damn, the gangs, but the tagging was mostly fighting in junior and middle school, and junior high.
What are we talking about? We're talking about like when were you in junior high? Like late 90s, early 2000s? When was it? I'm not too sure.
Okay, I was born in 87, so
late 90s.
Junior high would be like 6th grade, right? So in 6th grade, you're how old? I think you're like 12. No. Huh?
6, you're 11, and then 7th grade, you're 12. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you get to high school when you're already like 15, 14, 15.
Yeah, 14, 15. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So this was like 2000, like 1999, 2000.
Yeah. So from looking back, that's kind of like when it was like the most active. I would say.
Yeah. Coming from like the 90s era,
Exactly,
like because even it's crazy because even then in like 2000s, you had older homies who'd be like, oh, back in the days, you get me? Like, and those homies, like, when you're young, you be like, I don't care about back in the days. It's about right now. But now, like, you get older, and then I'm the motherfucker that be like, back in the days, but it's just, that's the way fucking life goes, bro. Like, right. Like those homies in the 2000s when they were older, they were like looking at like this era is not nothing like the 90s, or, and then the fools in 2010, looking back at 2000, like, there was nothing like, it's just,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So now, so that's junior high. You're starting to get into some trouble. And then now we're moving forward to your high school days.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Well, getting to high school was like 9th grade was when I made the transition of going from a tagger to going to the neighborhood. Like that whole 8th grade to 9th grade transition is when, like, I was already doing my shit as a tagger, like I was from the most biggest tagger crew in Inglewood, California.
So Gsta Wish was a tagger before he got
before gangbanging and shit, I was a tagger, and it was the crew that was dominant in Inglewood City, like on our side. And the other side would be like the Inglewood side, like the Arbor Village, Arbor Vita, all that shit over there. Like that was known to us as the other side of Inglewood, and they had the crews and gangs over there. But like in our side and in my side, Lock Haven, like, that crew that I was from was the dominant one there,
What made you decide, like, you know what, I'm fuck being a tagger, I'm gonna just join the neighborhood? Like, that's a big transition, Like, what was going through your mind at those times?
To tell you the truth, I didn't really actually make that decision per se. Like, it just, the homies from that area were like, and everybody could relate, like, that gang from that area lets the taggers run their show for a certain amount of time. But then once the taggers that are doing the most and are with the business stick out. So that hood gravitates to that person and comes to that person and be like, you're going to be from the neighborhood. That's pretty much what happened to me, like the fools from my tagger crew that were with the business, like eventually the homies from my neighborhood now, go to those people and be like, you're going to be from the hood, or, if you like it or not, like, not like that, but like pretty much like, they'll smash on you. I mean, you're doing all the gangster shit, like with the will. They're not gonna let you do that shit and keep running it as a tagger. Like if you're really with the shit like that, you better stop all that tagging shit and come home. As we like to say, you better, you're from the land, like you're from around here. You're doing all this shit for what? Like, you might as well. So that's pretty much what happened to me. I was chilling at the park. My name was already ringing bells as a tagger. So the homies just came and were like, nah, you're not gonna be doing all that as a tagger, You better just come on home, baby. And that's what happened to me. So it wasn't like I sat there and I want to be from 18. Nah, it was just like, you stick out like a sore thumb. Yeah, you stick out like a sore thumb. And I'm not the only one. That's what I'm saying. Like that tire crew is dead now. Like that tire crew didn't last because like we all became the neighborhood pretty much, like at different times. Do
you have homies that were in your that crew back then, like in your era, that are from there to this day, like you?
That's still from the tag?
No. That
are from the hood now, and that we were from. Yes. Most of us, all of us, pretty much.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Hell yeah, most of us, because that tire crew became the future hood. Like as the time years progressed, I mean, homies get locked up, homies catch time and shit. But this tiger crew was our feeding. You get me? It was our, like, they always have new people, boom. So we'll just bam, bam, bam. Plus, I mean, if you are in that lifestyle, dog, you want to be from the hood. You want to be from the dominant force around there. You know what I'm saying? So if you're doing it anyway, so that's pretty much what happened. That time crew don't exist any longer. Like pretty much everybody jumped into the hood, and the ones who didn't want to just didn't.
So now you're in high school, and now you're from the hood.
Yeah. And, but I didn't really go to high school. Like that's when the whole juvenile halls thing came.
So you started getting locked up at an early age.
I got locked up once as a tagger, being from the crew. Like I had got locked up once for car theft, carjacking, but it was a neighbor's car that I jacked, And then the lady didn't end up pressing charges. So then, but that was my first time in juvenile hall as a tagger. Stole the little station wagon from the neighbor from across the street. But I already knew that it was fucked up. It was old ass, we used to call it the Wawa. It was an old ass station wagon, and you could put down the window literally like this, and you could fucking turn it on with no key. Like, hey, Spencer. Hey, so you know what I'm saying? Like you just say yourself over failure.
You asking for it.
Yeah, you asking for it. And I knew it. Hey, but shout out to the homie that was with me that day, man. He actually jumped on first. I remember we were walking to school, dog. He jumped on first. We didn't want to go to school. And he was just like, I knew he couldn't drive for shit. So he knew that the car, he did it. Boom, jumped on, turned it on. And he was like, you coming with me or not, fool? Fool. And I was just like, fool. But I was still a tagger. So I was like 13, 14, like before 14. Like it was like 13 years old, dog. And he was like, hey, I knew he couldn't drive for shit. And so he was like, hey, you coming with me or not? And I was like, fuck, fool. Like, now you're making me go with you because I know you can't drive. So I fucking went to the driver's side, scoot over, fool. He fucking scooted over and I fucking jumped in the fucking seat, dog. And man, we drove everywhere, dog. We drove all over fucking Lawndale, all over Hawthorne. Fuck, I even got in a fucking accident that day. Cause I was small. I didn't, driving a big ass lancha. Like, fool, I didn't even know how to brake and shit. So I hit a construction worker, like we were like in Hawthorne somewhere. Red light, boom, and I didn't squeeze it all the way, boom, I fucking hit. The homie that was with me, fool, fucking hits, bam, wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Bam, hits the fucking windshield, bro. Bah, and then I look at him, and I'm like, fuck, then he's leaking. Now he's leaking. I'm like, oh shit, fool. And then the fucking construction guy gets off the fucking car. He sees that we're kids, fool. He looks at us like, what the fuck? He looks at his truck, and I didn't fuck up his truck. Cause it wasn't like a boom. It was just like I didn't stop at the time. It was just like, bah. So he looked at it, and he's just like, what the fuck? He just went, fuck it, like he let us go, dog. And he just drove away. And now he's fucking still dipping with this food fucking leaking. Damn. Hey, we still fucking dipping.
Okay, talk to us about the moment where you got caught up that day with. I mean, you had, so you.
Yeah, we ended up getting caught up. So fucking, we ended up like just still cruising, going through fucking Lawndale, going through the other. Then we started looking for taggers from the other high schools. We started cruising through high schools looking for the enemy taggers. Like nothing. We didn't find shit. Well, nah, everybody was in school. We were the only fucking two fucking dickheads riding around. You know what I'm saying? In a stolen car. And then we fucking. So we're going back to the hood. I'm telling you, fuck it, let's go back to the hood. So now we're cruising and we're in Hawthorne and there's a stop sign, fool. And I didn't fucking I'm young. I didn't know nothing about making a full stop or nothing. And I come to the stop sign and I didn't really stop all the way. I kind of like just go and kind of cruise it off. And there was a fucking Hawthorne PD like right there just sitting like minding his business. But he seen us do that and fool, he came right. Seen that fool all leaking. The windshield busted. Like he's just like, oh yeah, you little kids. Took me to jail. Took us in. Let him go for a joyride. He went to the station. Let him go for joyriding. I think we told the cops he fucking like that he was leaking because we got into a fight with some people or whatever. And then they fucking took me to fucking jail. I think I did like a week. Yeah, I did like a week. Like, they release it to your parents when you're that young, like probation and shit like that. But that's when it started for me, like the whole, and then I went to juvenile hall for that week and man, I was just like even for that week, like seeing how juvenile hall worked, like, oh shit, okay. I see what's going on here,
Yeah.
Like fights and how enemies catch fades with enemies. And so I was already like, okay. So when I went to the hood, I was already like, I know what's cracking, Yeah. I know what I'm going to face once I get locked up especially being from the hood, because we got a lot of enemies.
It sounds like you were seeing a lot, like very early on. You're going through a lot very early on.
Oh yeah, bro. Hell yeah. I'm telling you, once my pops left, it was feet on the ground and let's go.
What was your mom telling you at the time when you were going through all that? Was she trying to, of course, I'm pretty sure she was trying to tell you to chill. And
of course. And I was already drinking at that time. I was already smoking at that time. Like, you swear that my mama don't know that, I smell like beer, I smell like weed, but I don't know. Like, I just felt like my mom didn't have no really control over us. Like, it was just, I don't know. Shout out to my mama though. I know she tried.
All right. So, what kind of music was Gsta Wish bumping as a youngster, when you were that age?
Oh man. At that time, dog, honestly, all that sticks to my head is like Eazy-E, like Bone Thugs, fucking, man. Eazy-E for sure, because I remember kicking at the homie Spooky's house and he had a little boombox in his fucking garage and that's the only CD he had. That's the only CD he had. So that's the only CD we could bump. And that's why I just remember that creeper and that crawl and that creeper and that crawl. That shit fucking probably played like 18 times in a day. No lie. Like probably even more than that. 118 times. That's the only CD he had. But yeah, that's the homie, man. Spooky, rest in peace and shit.
Okay, so now, okay, you're going through all this. At what point did you start getting involved with music? Was it early on, or did you start getting on later on with music?
Yeah, well, it was on one of these trips to camp, juvenile hall. I ended up going to camp. Did 6 months in camp. This was in Lancaster though, if I remember correctly, in Challenger. The blacks, man, the blacks, you know, the Bloods and the Crips, they always used to fucking like beat on the table and make beats with the table, like with the pencils, like boom, 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 make beats and make their own like diss tracks. You know, they'll do like enemy roll calls and stuff like that, you know, like rapping and just naming all their enemies and dissing them, and or naming their hoods and all the hoods they get along with, just making raps like that. And I was just like, damn, that's fucking hard as fuck. But I didn't know how to do the whole, you know, I didn't know how. So when I used to hear them do it, I used to be like, that's fucking hard as fuck. They just dissing all their enemies, they representing their hood. So I used to be like, fuck. So one time, one of these fools were doing it, and the beat that he was doing, I was just like, fuck, I'm gonna write to this shit. The beat that he was making from the pencils and shit, you know? I'm like, fuck, I'm a fucking.
So when you were in there, you started spitting? Like,
it was when I started writing. Like, actually, I started writing before even spitting. Like, I'm a shy motherfucker. Like, I started writing before I even spit to anybody. I already had shit written down that I would just spit to myself, you know? And even before that, like before even being a tagger and all that, when I was a kid, I used to listen to songs on the radio and fucking record them with the tape. Even, bam, remember the tape? I used to record the radio, the songs that I liked. I used to listen to the whole song and rewrite the whole song just so I could be able to sing along. Oh, shit. So that's I think how I developed my writing shit. Like, you know, like how to write a song, like, cause I already knew, like, even though I didn't know it was a verse and a hook then, I knew that, okay, I'm writing this, and then this is the repeatings, like, this is what he keeps saying throughout the song, which is the hook. So low-key you were learning. Yeah, so low-key I was learning already, but I was just writing it so I could sing along with it. Right. You know, but then when it came to that, I went to juvenile hall and started seeing these fools. I was fascinated by that shit. Like, and these fools are just dissing their enemies, representing the hood. Like, I like that shit, you know, like reminded me of the banging on wax and shit back in the days, you know, the Bloods and the Crips banging on wax and shit like that. So I was like, oh, that shit's fucking hard. And then, yeah, so I started writing.
Who heard you first then, since you were keeping it to yourself?
Dopey. Dopey and the homies. Yeah.
Oh shit! Talk to us about that.
So Dopey was already rapping, doing his thing.
Take us back to those moments right there.
Yeah. I remember too being in front of Spooky's house, drinking, drunk. Dopey was already doing his thing, you know. So Dopey would here and there like kick some shit, like you know, some verses or some freestyles here and there. He was the one, but that day I was faded enough. I'm telling you, I'm a shy motherfucker. So that day I was just faded that I was like he was already doing it. It was one of those days he was rapping, and I was just like, oh fuck, like it's my I'm gonna go today. Yeah, I'm gonna go. And then I just told that for, hey, I could rap too. And he was like, oh, go ahead. And I rap, bro. And after was just like, what the fuck? Like you can't just rap. You could really rap. You know, like can I get a piece of food, Spencer? You can't, you know, you could like rap, fool. You could rap, you know? And I was just like, funny. He was just right away. He was like, hey, I'm gonna take you to the homie Downer, you know, which had the 99 Records at that time with Lil G and Dopey. So I was already like, fuck yeah, you know, like.
Okay. So now talk to us about so when Dopey said that, and now you guys end up going, right? Sure. Okay, talk to us about those moments, those first moments of you at the studio with them. Who was there? What was the vibes? Just take us back to those moments.
Man, if I can remember correctly, dog, because I know it's been a while. Yeah, it's when Dopey told me, I'm gonna take you to the homie Downer. I'm like, all right. At that time, he had a little studio like in Long Beach. And I remember the homie Little Shadow, rest in peace, was one of the ones that was like, okay, this bro. I don't know how long after when Dopey heard me rap. I don't know how long after, but I want to say it was probably the next weekend. Not that long after, like a weekend or 2 weekends after that, you know? The homies took us, we went. I showed up to Downer's lab, bro, and that was like, hey, Dopey was like, hey, this is the homie, like he could rap. Well, Downer was right, like Downer's off top, that type of person, like, okay, go spit right now, you know, like, man, as soon as he did, I just popped off a verse that I already had in my head. Boom, boom, boom. All he wanted to see was that you could rap. So as soon as I remember spitting like 2 bars to that fool, and he stopped me, he was like, all right, boom, you could rap. And then he just told me and Dopey, you guys go to the other, he had another little room. He was like, go over there to the other room and make me a track right now. Do a track. I'm playing, man. And he gave us the beat. It was a 50 Cent beat, dog. It was fucking, the chips are down. Chips are down. It was that, and then he just gave it like, boom, right to that. Like, you guys are gonna record it right now too. So we fucking went to that room, dog, and we were right there writing. And I was already like, fuck, like, okay, I'm about to record like Like at that time, when I was thinking like professionally, I was like, fuck, I'm about to record in the studio. I had never recorded in the studio before that, so I was like, fuck, I'm about to record right now. So I remember like fucking writing that shit, like trying to be perfect, dog, trying to be like, man, I'm gonna fucking nail this shit. And bam, Dopey did his shit. Dopey's a natural, dog. Shout out to fucking young Dopey. Shout out to my boy. That was a natural, dog, when it comes to shit like this, camera and all that. He's just, that's the boy. But, yeah, dog.
So it was you, Dopey, and Downer.
Dog. And
what was Downer's
No, there was, food. There was Bullet. That food Bullet from, JBI. He was part of the Double Nine Records around that time too. Little G was there.
All you guys right
there was another homie that Bullet the man, I think Trouble, if I'm not mistaken, and Downer and the homies we pulled up with, which probably was Little Shadow and like two other homies that I remember, if I'm not mistaken.
So did you end up becoming from Double Nine Records with everybody or no?
Briefly, but not that day. Obviously, after he seen me after a while and seen that I could spit, we had recorded 1 or 2 songs. Yeah, then he did was like, man, you're gonna be a part of the Double Nine family, because we did the cruising TV. I don't know if you guys, I got tagged a lot on that. The cruising TV shit that when we were young and shit, Dopey and Lil G and me, like that shit was like when Downer put me out as a Double Nine member. Yeah.
What was he? Downer's role? He was like the management of Double Nine.
Management, owner.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he's the one that created Double Nine Records.
Gotcha. And then he was recruiting all these artists.
He was just the homie that was trying to gather the homies from the hood that had talent,
Right. And I mean, shit. I mean, a lot of you guys were successful. I mean, at least from that room right there.
And shout out Lil G, because he came out on top out of all that. So he made it happen for sure. He stuck to his guns and he fucking came out on top. So that's what's up. From like going back to knowing from where we came from and knowing how we started, like, like he knows what's cracking, and much love to that food too.
Damn, that's what's up right there. Those are legendary moments right there. Did anybody capture any footage at that time or not?
I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know if anybody ever did. I'm not aware of any.
Damn, those legendary moments.
And moments that we didn't think would be legendary now, like at that time it was just, but at that time too, like we were knuckleheads too. We were just looking at like at that time, me, dog, I was just trying to get tracks out there, like, and I told you I come from like dissing enemies and all that. Like that was my shit back then. Like that's all I really wanted to do. Even though Donner was trying to like point us in another direction, like my style of rapping when I wanted to start rapping was that, like, I wanted that kind of that banging on wax type shit, like, I don't try to do that anymore, because I done grown.
How old were you guys at those moments? Were you guys?
Man, we were like 15, 16.
So you guys are still in high school,
yeah,
right there in the studio.
Yeah, and we still out there. Shit. Man, we still out there in the funks of it all, like we still trying to do this, but still over here trying to do that. Like, especially those are like prime, like we were really deep in that shit,
Okay, so now, all right, so this is all Double Nine. That's all passing. How does 6 Block Records come about?
Man, all right, yeah, 6 Block was as time progressed, doing the street shit and doing all that gangbanging shit. The homie Lil Man, which is from 6 right there from the block, fucking he knew that we had doing this music shit, He knew this, but I never knew that he was fucking doing his own little thing in his room. Like every time we want to go kick it at his house, we kicked it in the garage in the back. Boom, boom. We respected his pad with his pad. Every time we're going, we had no business in his pad. Every time we went to his house was to kick, and that was a hangout spot. So we kicked it there all the time, on 109th between Prairie and Doty. You know what I mean? But one time, dog, like just out of nowhere, this fool was like, hey, wait, like, Kyle, and he's inviting me inside his house. And like, I'm telling you, we don't go inside his house for shit. Like, you gotta use the restroom. There's a restroom in the back. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no need for us to go in his house. And he's like, Kyle, wait. So and I kicked it with this fool for years. I know him since high school and everything. So that was like a what? You're inviting me inside your cantona way? Like, all right. Like, I've never stepped a foot in here. Yeah. And, we went in there and he takes me to his room, not only his house. They was already walking me to his room and I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? And I go to his room, dog. He has this whole setup. Like a whole like little beat making setup, like doing. And around that time, there's like there's MySpace cracking at this time. So I go inside his room and he just shows me this shit and I'm just like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, fool, what the fuck you never told me that? He was like, well, I was waiting for me to get my setup right. You know, and I was just like, wow, all right, that's cool. And then we sat down, and I mean, you know, at that time it sounded dope, but like he had beats already and shit like that. So I was like, oh shit, okay, I could fuck with some of this shit. I could fuck with some of that shit. And us at that time was just trying to push something. And if you from the land and you from Lock Haven, you know that the 6 means what it means to us. So I mean, it just came out of, it was just natural, you know, the 6 block. Like, you know, the 6 block, that's a term we use right there. But like even other blocks too, like 104, we call it the 4 block. 105, we call it the 5 block. 106, it's the 6 block, the 7, the 8, the 9. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's just natural with all the 6 blocks. So for us, it was just like, man, the 6 block, the 6 block. We said it so much that we were just like, the 6 block, you know, and it stuck, you know what I'm saying? And Dopey was in prison around this time. And I remember shooting him a wheelie, like, letter I used to write to for all the time and telling him about it, like, hey, the 6 block, like, man, we should, like, the 6 block records just sounds perfect. And then Dopey right away was like, don't say no more, you know? I'm gonna get on somebody to do the sketch, to do it. And that's our whole chucks and everything. That pattern is straight from prison. That's straight from Dopey shit, hollering at somebody.
That's been the original logo since way back then.
Yeah. We kind of changed it up now, just try to keep up with the whole, you know, just merchandising shit. We're trying to switch it up, but yeah, that logo is fucking gangster. Like that logo comes, like that shit was made in prison. Dopey probably has mentioned this before in this podcast, but whoever drew that shit is straight from prison and shot it, and then Dopey just took care of the rest. Like, okay, bam, we're gonna make this the label, you know?
So now you and Little Man are hitting the studio. You guys are recording. Is it just you guys? There's more people involved at that moment. Who's like the original 6 block members?
Man, it was just me and it was just me and Little Man because Dopey was incarcerated this whole time. So it was just me and Little Man. I think Dopey had came out once. We pushed it, boom. Dopey got locked up again. But then like we had like, we didn't bring nobody under the 6 block, but we definitely started fucking with like other artists from the hood though. Like it was like Trubs, I remember. Shout out to Trubs, Rancho. And this is when I met Buck, you know, like Buckwheat. It was another addition to our camp, but never really said, oh, I'm from the 6 block. It was just more like, we from the hood. You know?
Okay,
This
is important. How did you and Buck meet? Because it's always you guys together, you know, that we get to see like on YouTube and this and that. You know, it's always you guys all together. So talk to us about you and Buck. How did you meet Buck?
All right, so Buckwheat's from another clique from the set in downtown LA. And I'm from a clique in the set that's way in Inglewood. So we are cities apart. We're
not too far
apart. Yeah, not too far apart. But we're cities apart. Where you grew up, he's doing this thing, I'm doing my thing, man. But me and Buck, man, in downtown LA. Me and Buck, I used to go work for my pops. He used to have a jewelry shop in downtown LA, right there on 5th and Hill. Well, actually, more this way. My bad, like in 7th and 6th and Hill, around there. And man, that's when I was living in South Central, and I used to catch the bus, dog, Broadway bus from downtown LA all the way to South Central over there, 97. And one time I was walking to the bus stop. And I'm crossing the fucking intersection. Is a green light, whatever. I'm crossing, and I see, you know, it's African American, and you know, like we don't get along with some African American gangs. And I seen you was already kind of looking at me funny, so I'm already like, what the fuck? And I'm walking to the bus stop after work, and I'm like, man, what the fuck is this looking at me for? And he's getting close to me, and I'm like looking at him, and we're kind of mad dog each other. But he said something, but I didn't hear him, and I'm like, what? And that's when we both stopped, and I'm like, what? And that fool was like, what? And I was like, what's up, fool? And 18, and we were like, what the fuck? Hey, what's up, fool? It's Wish. But then that's where he met. But then he was like, Wish. He's like, hey, you the fool that be rapping? And like, yeah, I rap. And he was like, hey, I rap too, fool. What the fool, Buck? I'm like, hey, come to the studio with Little Man's house. And I'm like, to the studio. I'm going to the studio right now. Cause actually when I lived on 97, that fool, the studio was right there too, you know? I mean, we're no longer on 97 no more, but yeah, when we were there, the studio was there. So I was like, well, I'm headed to the fucking studio right now. And I was like, give me your number, blah, blah, blah. We're going to link up. I'm pull up. Well, yeah, no, do you know that fool became like a road dog? Yeah, that fool was always in the studio. Yeah. He was always fucking around with us.
So pretty much you guys were going to bang on each other. Both of you guys from the same.
Yeah, we banged each other. And when we both said 18, we were like, what? All right. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I was like, cool. Yeah. We're about to get him up in this intersection if you would have been in from anywhere else.
So ever since you guys been clicked up and linked up.
Yeah, man, he been rocking with us since. Hell yeah. Switched to the studio, dealt with Little Man, his ups and downs, because, you know, like we were still man, like struggling, you know, it was still recording from the fucking garage, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to make shit as best as we can. Like now I listen to the Hood Music Volume 1s, Volume 2s, and I'm just like, you know, but hey, but that's what God is. Even and then, like I felt love from a lot of people. A lot of people were showing us love around those times, you know. But now I listen to it and I be like, God damn, that shit sounds fucked up.
Yeah, it could have been a little mixed a little better. This and that.
Not
But
little,
back
a
then,
lot better.
Yeah, it was different though, you know.
Yeah, and then
It was
the Little Man
different,
was
yeah.
making the beat, but we felt proud of it because it was like Little Man's making the beats and we're putting the vocals. Like this is our shit. This is our sound. This, you know.
And it's straight raw shit too.
Yeah,
you know?
it's what exactly.
Straight raw shit, you know, from the room to, you know,
Man.
little setup. So
Man, I know.
look at you guys
Little
now.
Man used to get mad like because that beat would just be replaying like a motherfucker. And after hours and hours, he'd be like, "Are you guys done yet?" Like, no, fool, hey, we already got the hook. We already got the hook. But hey, man, shout out, man, to Little Man, and if for sure, if it wasn't for him, none of this shit would have been popping, you know.
Okay, so then after that, now it's you, Buck, Little Man, and then when does Dopey come out and you guys start just?
Dopey comes out another wild dog because actually we skipping the whole fucking like Little Rascal.
Okay, talk
Like,
to us
no,
about
that-
that. Talk
that-
to us about that.
Yeah,
for those who
Little
don't know.
Rascal came into play again too. I talked about whatever needs to be said about Little Rascal in Dopey's podcast. So if y'all want to tune into that, y'all can go and check my answer to that. But I say that to say this, that he was still a part of it. So I'm not gonna leave him out. But it is what it is, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to him. But yeah, he went in there and he was living with Little Man. That's why I want to bring him up, because he lived there, you know. He lived at Little Man's studio for a while.
Yeah, so he was
You know?
there then. See,
Yeah,
he's
he was there,
watching
yeah.
Everything that you're talking about, he was there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna X him out of it, you know.
Right,
but
right.
It is what
Got
it is.
you. Okay, I feel
You know,
you.
but he definitely was there, you know, and he was there for a lot of it. So
All right, so now let's keep it moving forward. After all those times, now Dopey's out. So let's go back. Now let's go forward. Dopey's out.
Dopey probably got out once or two, three, four, 5 times. Nah, okay, but yeah. Like after Little Man and all that, it's when I think we started taking it a little more serious. Okay. You know, it's when I was like, all right, like we got something here. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to stop dissing the enemies. I need to stop making diss tracks just that, like, and not only that, but I also had like homies in my ear, good homies saying, all right, everybody knows where you're from already, fool. Like, you know, just maybe we should tone it down a little bit on the 18 this and 18 that. That was the first thing, you know. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll keep a note of it. Then it became to like, all right, let's stop dissing the enemies, you know, like, you know, enemies listen to her shit, you know, like they do. And so it's like, yeah, it's just why, you know, like, yeah. So I started looking at my music now, like, it's more like, okay, I'm not going to diss nobody.
So you're trying
And I'm not going to just say 18 all over the place, you know?
right. So you're pretty much just trying to level up, you know, everything that you're doing to a different scale, you know, to a higher scale that maybe goes to more broader audience, you know.
Yeah. And I think the real fans like notice that through my music, you know. They notice that, okay, yeah, this was like trying to progress from where he was at, you know.
Okay, got you. So, all right, talk to us about the present. You guys have so many things going on right now. You guys are making so many moves. You know, talk to us about a little bit about what's going on right now and what you got planned and what you're working on and what can they expect?
Yeah, man. Well, there's definitely a lot of shit going on. As y'all by now, y'all already tuned in to Dopey, so for sure y'all seen that food dropping crazy content everywhere. I'm just more on I'm slow dragging, you know. I was working on an album. It was gonna be called While I'm Still Here, which is an acronym for Wish. While I'm Still Here. But at this point in time, I really feel like I don't even want to drop an album no more, you know? I'm gonna get all those shits that I was fucking stacking up for the album, and I'm just about to start just fucking letting them out like that for me to catch a bigger audience, you know? Because I'm still there. I'm still trying to work my way up too. So, but Dopey's doing his thing, and I definitely want to come right back at him, you know? And how it's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? How it's been looking, but I know that I take a while to not drop shit, but I was working. That's what I'm saying, that I was working on my album, and that's why I'm taking a while to choose. Okay, I want to drop this, I want to drop that, but now I'm looking at it like I don't want to drop the album. I'm just gonna drop my shit, like all that shit, like with videos and all that. Just boom, 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 get my shit up, and then we're running from there, you know.
Does he try to push you, motivate you a little bit to like, you know?
I'm the slow dragger for sure. Yeah. Dopey's always in my ear about doing shit. Always like, hey, come on, do this, do that, you know. But also he also understands, like, you know, I'm not gonna put my shit out there, but I'm going through personal shit too. So, you know, that personal shit takes a toll on everything else that you're doing. So I'm still trying to get in there though, you know.
Feel you. So all right. So I want to move on to some, you know, before you came by, I asked, you know, my Instagram followers, hey, if you guys have any questions for Wish, you know, now's the time. So I really want to get the people involved. So you got a shitload. Let's go. Let's go through a couple questions right here. One of them is not even a question. It says, "This motherfucker can flow."
Shit, that's right. Salute.
There's that one.
I try.
All right. Who was your favorite collab with, if you have one?
Who was my favorite collab with? Dang. Dopey, homie. Not just playing. Nah, that's the homie. So for sure off tops. But man, I can't say I really collab with too many people. But definitely something that was a surprise and if people don't know. PacMan. Shout out to PacMan, the Gunman. But that was a surprise for me, for my engineer. Like Sive. Shout out to Sive too. At the wrecking spot. So when I was recording my album, that song was just mine, you know? But PacMan records with my engineer, Sive. So he made it happen and he just got at me out of nowhere and was like, hey, look who I got on your track. And I'm like, oh shit, that shit hard. And that shit ended up being hard. That's a hard ass track.
That's up right there. They could find it out on platforms and shit. Like,
oh, yeah. Gangsta Wish and PacMan, the Gunman. Fuck, I even forgot the name of the song already.
I'm sure it'll pop out. You know,
hey, that's sure yeah. Gangsta Wish, PacMan, the Gunman. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to fucking PacMan for sure. He blessed that one. I was like, hell yeah. I'm telling you, it was just a surprise from my engineer. Like, boom, hey, food, toma. You know?
I got another one here. This one's just a shout out. It says, much love from your boy, Big Spanks. Keep your music coming. Ease up.
That's right, Spanky. Ease up.
This one you could answer if you'd like to. You don't have to. Is in the near future, you working with any upstate homies for a project?
And not really, because, and not for any reason of that you might think. It's just that I'm working on myself right now. I'm really not looking into any like big or outside features at all. I'm only gonna rock with the camp that I'm fucking with right now, and I'm gonna do a lot more solo shit so I'll get my shit out there like that. You know, like all that features and shit right now. I'm cool. I'm gonna get my shit up, and then we fucking fuck with the features later.
There it is. Next one, asada o pastor.
I get them mixtas. Nah, a pastor, but it has to be from the fucking. It has to be from the. What do you call it? Rotisserie, the trompo.
Oh shit, that's fire.
with the fucking pineapple, with the pineapple on top. And if the butcher can't fake the pineapple and catch it with the fucking tortilla, I ain't fucking with it.
Two more that I'm gonna say. This one, it says, what are your top 5 songs from homies from the barrio?
Yeah. Okay.
You can name 2 or 3 if you have 3 favorite ones.
You said 5, so off top 1800.
There you go. 1.
Dang, you know what sucks that I can't think of the names of the songs of the homies from Smiley Drive shit. Hey, but the homies from Smiley Drive, that whole fucking CD actually slapped. So I'm gonna fuck with the whole Smiley Drive album. But yeah, 1800 off top. Shit. I mean, shit. I fuck with all the homie shit though. Are you from the E? Shit, and you fucking rapping and you could rap? Nice. I'm rocking with it. I'm fucking with it. Oh yeah.
There you go. All right, we'll move to the last question here. I'll reword it a little bit. Being, you know, a little bit, you know, familiar with the 805 a little bit. How is it different from LA? And at the same time, how is it similar if it is?
Well, I'm gonna just tell you the difference because it was the first major difference for me. Was there's not like much diversity here. Definitely. There's no really no African Americans. There's no Bloods and Crips like that. And even if they are, shout out to y'all. Not disrespect to nobody, but it's not like a presence like in LA. Like in LA, there's Bloods and Crips everywhere. You know what I mean? And lots of gangs everywhere. I'm not saying there's no Crips or Bloods in the 805. I'm just saying that their presence is not known as in LA. So that'll definitely be the difference as far as similarities. Yeah, the culture. I mean, the whole gang culture is definitely the same. Same shit, same rules apply over here as over there. So that's a big similarity.
All right, and now we're gonna move. We're moving towards the end right here. Is there anything that you would like to get off your chest, just to let people know, anything like that? Plus shout outs. Any shout outs you have?
I don't like shout outs because I don't miss motherfuckers. And then people going for it. That's fine. To get off my chest, I would just pretty much say that to the real fans, the ones that really do want music more out of me, just know that I love music. I love making music. I do have a lot of shit in the vault. I just have a lot of personal shit going on right now that I decide to navigate a different way. But just know that I do have a lot of shit and I do plan to drop it. And I am working on new shit. I am writing new shit. There's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes right now with the whole West Factory shit. Shout out to the West Factory, man. They're really like pushing the envelope right now to get more of our content out there. That's what we needed. Like, we really are humans and we deal with motherfucking real life shit. You know what I'm saying? And we deal with the street shit. So as far as that, just, I wanted to get that on my chest. Just the people that think if we just fucking dropping music here and there, whenever and shit, it's just, I'm just dropping music as I can. And I'm just being honest with that. But I definitely have shit recorded. I was working on the album. Me and Dopey have another album, or Murder. That's for sure. It's coming through. We still gonna keep that album. We have shit right there too. But Dopey goes through his shit too. I see on his platform, says on his platform, all like we both have personal shit that delaying a lot of our music. And, I just want y'all to know that, we do have y'all in mind. We do appreciate everybody that rocks with us, that fucks with us, that orders shit from the West Factory. Like the homies tell me, like people still order shit, so that's it. Just, that's what I want to get on my chest, let the fans know that we are working and we are doing shit. It's taking us a little longer to get that shit out there.
There it is. So we're gonna call this a wrap right here. I want to thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you, Gangsta Wish, and we're gonna call that a wrap. Destructive motherfucking Films, Gangsta Wish, and we out.